All right, thanks for joining. Let's stretch out. Now, quick note, prior to starting, make sure that you've already done a warm-up. If you haven't, this is a good time to do so. Go ahead and pause the video, get yourself warm. If you're ready to go ahead and follow along. We're gonna start with an ankle stretch. So we're gonna go from 4-point position and then lift the hips up in the air. Flatten one heel, wrap the opposite leg around the back of it. And we're just relaxing into that stretch. Now we're going to be pretty quick on all of these. I'm going to hold for about 10 seconds. So this stretch session is mostly for educational purposes. If you want to hold a little bit longer, just memorize the stretches and come back. Let's go ahead and switch legs. So again, starting with the ankles. This one's stretching out the back of the calves, the gastrocnemius and the soleus. And we're going to work from here up into the hamstrings. So let's go ahead and release that stretch. Next one, from seated position. We're going to outstretch one leg. Take the opposite foot, bring it into the inner thigh. And what we're going to do is reach down to that extended leg. I want you to try to make sure that the belly button and the chest are squared up with the foot, and we're hinging as much as possible. You don't want to round the back. Getting a nice deep stretch. If you can't reach the toes, that's fine. Grab onto the ankle, grab onto the knee, as far as you can go, and go ahead and pull yourself deeper into the stretch. So what we're looking for here, slight discomfort. You should feel that nice warm stretch sensation, but not pain. Don't ever stretch to the point of pain. Let's go ahead and switch legs. Once again, make sure that you're squared up with the foot. Inhale, exhale, a little bit deeper into the stretch. So the ideal length of time for any stretch is about 10 to 30 seconds. If you want to go beyond that 30-second mark, it's totally fine. Just relax, release out of the stretch, and then go into it again, doing multiple sets. All right, we're going from the hamstrings up into the glutes. Let's go ahead and lie back. We're going to place the ankle of one leg on the bottom of the thigh, just above the knee. We're going into a figure 4 position. Try to get the tailbone flat on this one. Keep the head flat so that your entire spine is touching the mat if you can get it there. And then what we're going to do is pull in as deep as you can. We're actively pulling into each stretch. You want to try to go deeper and deeper the whole time. This one's stretching out the glutes, especially some of the deep glutes. And let's go ahead and switch. All right, go ahead and relax, release this stretch. So we're gonna go from here into the front of the thighs, and then we'll work our way back up toward the hips. Next stretch is gonna be for quadriceps. So what I wanna do is go half kneeling. We've got one foot on the ground. We've got the opposite knee on the ground. Toes on the back foot are curled underneath so that we can push forward. What we wanna do for this one is kind of shoot forward, keeping your abs a little bit tight. And then we're gonna reach back, try to grab onto your foot, okay? If it's a little bit too hard to do this stretch, double up your mat so that it's a little bit more comfortable on your knee. And if you feel like you're just way too tight to grab on here, you can't get here, that's fine. We can lie down on our belly. So a good way to modify would be start here, grab onto the foot, and pull up and in, okay? If you're in this position, the higher you push up into the stretch, the deeper you're gonna get into the quad. Lifting your upper body up. Either variation is just fine, so hold what you've got. And let's go ahead and switch legs. I'm going to go back to the half kneeling. Grab onto the foot, pull up and in. release. Good. All right, next one, adductors. For adductors, we're gonna do what's called the dirty frog. Some people just call it the frog. We're gonna place our hands on the ground, walk those knees out as wide as we can. We're sitting back into the stretch. Try to get down onto the forearms. Yep, just relax those adductor muscles as much as you can. Nice deep breathing, relaxing. And imagine on every exhale, we want to try to release any tension that we're holding on to in the muscles. Very good. All right, posture back up. Nice work. Okay, so a little bit higher, we're going to go into the psoas muscles, iliopsoas. To stretch these out, we want to go half kneeling, placing one foot on the ground, one knee on the ground, and then make sure that the toes on the back foot are curled underneath. So what we're going to do here is crunch our abs just a little bit. We want to make sure that the back is flat, and we're driving forward into the stretch, kind of like the way we set up that first quadricep stretch. From here, you should already start to feel a little bit of tension at the top of the hip. And then we're going to reach up, hand on the head on the same side that we're stretching, and then go ahead and lift the elbow up to the ceiling. So now we're getting some length up in the side of the ribs. That's helping us to pull and lift at the origin of that iliopsoas. Getting a nice deep hip flexor stretch. As you're doing this one, it's important that you don't just drive forward into spinal extension because that lets the tension out of that group. And let's go ahead and switch sides. All right, half kneeling. Crunch the abs. Drive forward into our stretch. Hand on the back of the head. Go ahead and lift that elbow. And release. Good. All right, so that does it for most of the lower limbs. There are a bunch of other stretches you could do, but we're gonna go ahead and move on to upper body. So let's get into the side of the ribs here. What I'm gonna have you do is place your hands on the ground, sit back onto your heels. Try to go as far back as you can. From here, we're gonna start to walk our hands over to one side. There you go, good. You should start to feel a stretch just on the side of the ribs below the shoulder. Go ahead and drop that head down. And we're just relaxing into this stretch. Good, other side. Same thing here, looking for a stretch just on the side of the rib cage, on the side of your body. Opening up those lats a little bit. And let's release, nice. Okay, from there, next one is gonna stretch out triceps, a little bit of lats again. So what we wanna do is reach up to the air, drop your hand so that it's just below your neck, and then reach up and grab onto your elbow. We're just gonna use this hand to pull a little bit on the elbow, keeping our head upright, and we're getting a nice deep stretch in that triceps. Good. All right, shake it out, switch hands. Nice work. Couple more seconds here. And relax. I feel like I spend a little bit longer on that one every time. I've had an old shoulder injury for a little while. It always feels tight, so I like to spend a while. All right, moving on. What I'm gonna do next is chest and biceps. By going from kneeling position, reach out to the side, go ahead and look away from your outstretched arm and push down into the ground. Make sure that our outstretched arm, the one we're stretching out, is forward of our shoulders just a little bit. So we kind of want to be in like a big Y position. Not quite out front, but not directly out to the side. Again, looking for a stretch in the chest and in the biceps. As we turn away, we're pulling, relaxing that chest. Good, posture up. Let's switch sides. Reach out to the side and drop into your stretch. Good. All right, go ahead and release. Come back up. We're going to do one more stretch for the neck. So what I want to do on this one is just lean my head gently over to one side. I'm going to take the side that I'm stretching and drop that arm as low toward the ground as I can. If you want to, grab on below your shin or below your thigh, just so that we've got something to anchor the arm down. And then we're going to grab onto the head and pull a little bit deeper into that stretch. Good, hold for about 2 more seconds. And release gently. Good, switch sides. Perfect, a couple more seconds here. Go ahead and release. Okay, let's do one more stretch and then I'll cut you loose. Last one is for the forearms. What we're going to do is turn both palms so that the fingertips are pointed towards us, flattening the palms as much as you can. And if you need to, if it's really tight that way, just do one at a time. We're just leaning back slightly, stretching out those forearms. Nice deep stretch, a couple more seconds on this one. Hopefully by now you're feeling nice and stretched out, ready to get back into whatever it is you're planning on doing today. All right, go ahead and release. Nice. Cool, thank you so much for following along. Reach out if you have any questions, and as always, look for more great content from Pike Fitness. Thanks.